Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry, and today I'm in Grand Falls, Newfoundland, Canada. And what I'm going to do today is show you the Salmon Interpretation Center, which is all about the Atlantic salmon industry and for salmon fishing for personal use. And it's here at the Grand Falls Dam. So I'm going to show you all around here. So come along with me and let's take a look. This is a restaurant they have here. And eating out here gives you a good view of the waterfalls. And this building is the Interpretation Center, which I'm going to go to. And look at these rock walls. The rock all over here is amazing.
Because the other part is, you get moved down.
And the rock wall over here. This is the back side of the Interpretation Center building.
Newfoundland and Labrador is known worldwide for its pristine freshwater lakes and rivers. On the island portion of the province, the largest river system is the Exploits. The Exploits River System stretches from the long-range mountains on the west coast to Notre Dame Bay in central Newfoundland. The river's watershed encompasses some 12,000 square kilometers. During spring runoff and times of heavy rain, the true power of the river shows, and Mother Nature's spectacle is awe-inspiring. Historically, the Atlantic salmon journey up the Exploits River only extended to the Bishop's Falls. This natural obstruction prevented the salmon from venturing further upstream, and so salmon were left to spawn in the lower river system, and salmon numbers were naturally destined to be around 1,200 fish. The Exploits River System also enabled the development of hydroelectricity generation to power industry. Two major hydroelectric generating facilities were constructed at Bishop's Falls and Grand Falls, as well as dams to control water movement. Goodyear's Dam, North and South Twin Lakes Dam, and Exploits Dam, located at the mouth of Red Indian Lake. The development of these water control structures further restricted salmon movement on the river. In the early 1980s, members of the local Chamber of Commerce felt there was a great potential for the Exploits River to be a world-class salmon river. It was a well-known fact that the salmon were utilizing only about 10% of the vast Exploits watershed. From these initial ideas, a non-profit group was formed, the Environment Resources Management Association, locally known as IRMA. IRMA took on the responsibility of working with industry and government to make the exploit stream a reality. To facilitate the movement of these fish, salmon ladders were installed at various natural obstructions and at all water control structures, including the largest at Bishop's Falls and Grand Falls. At the Exploits Dam on Red Indian Lake, a fish elevator system was developed that actually raises salmon in a water holding tank up and over the dam. These ladders have been instrumental in the success story of Atlantic salmon on the Exploits River. In addition to allowing fish passage to new habitat, a facility for salmon egg incubation was constructed. At its peak, the facility incubated approximately 8 million eggs annually and used the stock from the lower section of the river as the brood stock. From 1986 to 1992, in excess of over 50 million young salmon fry were transported by helicopter to streams all over the Exploits River system. In the wild environment, only about 10 to 15% of the eggs laid by the female salmon would hatch as salmon fry. But in the controlled and protected environment of a hatchery, this number would increase to over 90%. After 3 years in the fresh water, these fish, measuring approximately 20 centimeters, would smoltify in preparation for their journey downstream to the ocean in late spring. Once in the ocean, their rate of growth would increase rapidly, resulting in these fish returning the following summer as full-grown adult salmon to the very same streams to start the process all over again. After spawning in the fall, these fish will overwinter in the streams, and unlike the Pacific salmon, which die after spawning, Atlantic salmon will return to spawn several times in their new home streams. In 1996, the aging steel pen stocks at Grand Falls were replaced with a modern power canal. At that time, careful consideration was given to installing a fish diversion system that would divert outgoing salmon, smolt, and kelp back to the Exploits River and away from the company's hydro turbines. The diversion system is called louver technology, which is actually a behavioral system of plastic bars supported by a floating boom which stretches across the canal to actually guide fish toward a bypass entrance. An extensive monitoring program was introduced using radio telemetry technology to determine the success of the fish bypass systems at both Grand Falls and Bishop's Falls. Since the closure of the paper mill, Nalcor Energy has taken over operations of all hydro facilities and water control structures on the Exploits River. Nalcor has remained committed to the ideals originally developed. The salmon enhancement program was well underway. The association also conducted numerous river cleanup projects, moving debris from along the shoreline. Also started on restoring habitat that was damaged by 100 years of log driving in the Exploits watershed. Pound pulpwood has been removed, and old collapsed water control structures that were blockages to salmon migration have been opened up to allow access to even more productive habitat. With the increasing success of the overall project, the public became more and more interested in the river and the opportunities that it presented. The town of Grand Falls-Windsor initialized the construction of a sewage treatment plant to treat all effluent, and major industry in the form of a large pulp and paper mill was ready to invest millions on treating all of their discharge. The building lower level has viewing windows that allows visitors to see Atlantic salmon traveling through the fishway on the way to the upper river system spawning grounds. The center has become one of the largest tourism visitor sites in central Newfoundland and provides for public education and awareness for natural freshwater resources. The cooperation and common goal of all stakeholders was the management and development of this natural resource, the Exploits River. From a returning run of about 1,200 in the late 1970s to a current river production approaching 45,000 adult Atlantic salmon, the Exploits River has become known the world over as a benchmark for successful salmon enhancement. Although the present goal is to maintain a self-sustaining salmon population of 100,000, the Exploits has a potential of over 300,000 salmon. With continued financial and public support and the efforts of community-minded organizations such as IRMA, salmon enhancement can be continued well into the future. Once a river is enhanced, nature takes over and maintains the increased number of salmon that return annually to the river. The Exploits River system has become a world-class Atlantic salmon-producing river.
Downstairs here they have 4 small aquariums and this one big one. And the ones in here are 5 years old and they live up to 8 years. And over here, these real little guys, about 1 inch long, they are 2 weeks old, salmon. And this one is about 4 weeks old. Look at this, they got a fish made out of wood. That's pretty clever. This is the fish ladder. And look at this rock cliff. I wonder if they chopped it up like this to get all this to fit in. But I don't actually see any fish here. So this must be the wrong time of the year for them. And here's where it goes downstream. Looks kind of shallow over there. This is a really nice view. And here's looking up to the dam. And there's another dam up to the left here. And when the salmon come upstream, they go up the fish ladder I showed you, which is right down there. And then they go up here and around to the other side of the building there, the interpretive center. And then from there, they go upstream. And that way, they can avoid all of this. Because from that interpretive center, they have a stream that goes up around the dam to upstream the river. Here's another scenic view where the birds like to hang out. And there's a lot of birds up there. So this is actually another river that comes down into the main river, and that's that second dam right over the level there that I showed you a minute ago. Well, folks, I learned that there are some interesting things to find out about Atlantic salmon. Like the populations are very low from what they normally are. So all the countries in the North Atlantic have made an agreement to not fish salmon for a certain number of a few years. Well, I hope you liked the video. Good day, folks.